Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. So today we are going to see the control process with Queueable Apex. And in previous episode, we saw use of batch Apex. We learned that in detail, and you can check into the previous video of this entire series. So this is the part 4 of the 6 video series of Asynchronous Apex. So let's get started with Queueable Apex. So Queueable Apex is one of a kind of asynchronous Apex, and it is uh, it is similar to both batch and future methods. As you can say, it has the feature of both batch and future method. Why? Because Queueable Apex is a class structure, and it implements a interface called queueable, and it has only one method executes. Hence you get rid of the start and finish method of the batch classes. So this is the similarity of a batch class in queueable. However, one thing in what we have additionally in as compared to future method is that it is simple method, and it has advantage like it can have a as object as a parameter, which was not allowed in future methods. So it is the combination of both. Okay, so that is why the reason is introduced instead of qubit. Yeah, so we'll talk about the reason between future and queueable. So but let's see what is the additional advantage that queueable apex gives over future method is like using non-primitive types. Obviously, using queueable class contain member variable of non-primitive type, you can pass the as object types and custom apex types, which are not allowed in the future methods. Monitoring, yes, because queueable method are executed using system.enqueue jobs. You create the instance of the queueable apex class and you pass that instance into this. So this method will return you an id which you can query and and track the job processed through queueable apex, right? That is the additional advantage. And third is chaining. So since we have the id, and since this is also a single transaction, you can chain another batch queueable class from within an execute method of a parent queueable method, right? So that is we will see that into detail. So these are the three additional advantages. One similarity is obviously it's a class structure with an interface, have execute method which is similar to batch class, and additionally it's a method. So you have non-primitive type, and additional benefit of queueable class over future methods. And one more thing which I also found is like the execution of future method is not known. However, you know that you have the idea of this particular batch apex, sorry, not batch apex, and you can track that and monitor, right? You can see that which return an id that can monitor. Okay, so let's move ahead and see like what is the additional advantage of future versus queueable. So because like say they have all mentioned that queueable methods are equivalent to future method, all they can this superset of what future method. So every time it's a very benefits if you wanted to go with future queueable methods, but not in every scenario, right? Because say for example in an asynchronous transition into a one class, there are three methods. Two methods are synchronous, and one method you wanted to just call it into a separate thread. So you can just simply add annotate that particular method as at the rate future, obviously keeping that in the syntax in mind that you can have only primitive types there. So that is the one advantage of a future method. So you can simply wrap that into synchronous methods, wrap that method into synchronous method, so that 1 2 3 and 4 is like my asynchronous or vice versa or wherever, right? So you don't have to create an entire set of class and implement the queueable interface and do execute method and then install the instance there, right? So it's simply putting that way. Hence, the syntax we already see that it's a simple. You have to implement this queueable interface. It has one method, which is this, and it sets the context. Right. Sample code here they have seen that the common scenario to use this queueable is like, for example, you are processing as object type record, and you wanted to do a REST API integration with that particular object. Hence, it was not possible in future method because there's a primitive type. You have to additionally query. But now, say for example, in the running transaction already working with some as object type of record, and then you wanted to do pass those record to a REST API integration and call out and get some results, and say for example do some calculations, additional calculation on those records, right? So then you can update them into database asynchronously. So then in that case your queueable is the ideal tool to go with, right? So the following code takes the collection of account record and sets the parent id for each record and update the record. So we are here directly working with the s object type. So it's a very simple code, like implement a queueable. It has a list of account parent id. What they're doing is they are getting the account records, and a parent record additionally is a parameter to the constructor of this queueable class, and in the execute method they are processing on that simply. So for example, this is asynchronous transactions. You have asynchronous class and you are doing a process on account. So for example, you're querying on this account with this billing state, and then they have one more account which has a name which will be the parent of entire whatever you're querying here, right? So entire account which whose billing state NY will be updated to parent ID whose name is acme corp. So that's why they are passing this entire account into line number 6, and one parent ID which they queried with acme name to as a second parameter. So what we'll do, we have account, we have parent, it goes here, this is the account and this is the parent ID, it is passed to this, and they are looping over to all the account which is passed from here, and they are updating the parent ID here. Simply put, that's a simple query. They are doing this entire transaction into asynchronous meta using queueable class, right? So yeah, they have mentioned that using system domain queue jobs, it will give you a job ID which is of you can just if it's apex job type, which we use to monitor the batch class as well, because there also we have ID, I guess. So that's what this query does. Testing queueable class, it's very simple to what we have in future and batch apex. So you have to put the instance of the queueable method into between start test and stop test, which will like force the entire jobs into a queue, and then all the jobs will be executed synchronously after test or stop method. So that's pretty much that. So then coming back to the main advantage of Queueable Apex, which is really awesome, that say for example you have two asynchronous jobs. You created an Queueable method 1, Queueable method Queueable class 1, Queueable class 2, and you have instance. So now you wanted to execute the Queueable class 2 only after the Queueable methods get executed or work, right? So you can like chain them into one. So you can call the instance of the second Queueable method into the execute method of the first queueable method. So how it is, so this is how it looks. So you have first job, which is a queueable, and then in the execute method, which is obviously the interface method, in which you can do a system of queue job, so in and call the instance of the second job. So this entire instance also will be called like system of queue job new, and first job is being called from here, and then when that execute, it comes here, and then your second job will automatically execute. However, keeping that in mind, you can only have one child job. Okay, so this execute method of the queueable class. So you can add only one job from the executing job, which means that you only have one child record. So what this implies is, so you can't have system.enqueue job, new second job, and in the next line another enqueue job and new third job. So it's like one particular line, and there are no three branch coming out of it. It's like one line going, and then second line finishes, and then you can go for the third line. So this is how another feature you can just change the further classes. So this second job's execute method will have the instance of the third job, and then third job's execute method will have an instance of the fourth job. So that's how like one after another, not from 1.1, 1.2, 1.3. It doesn't happen like that. 1, then 2, and then 3 and 4. That's how the sequence goes. That's how the chaining happens into the Queueable Apex, right? However, there's one more point, like you can't testing is different in this case. You can't change queueable job in apex text. So what you have to do is, to avoid nasty errors, you have to use apex in apex is test running, so to test the chaining job scenario. Now things to remember, obviously, because queueable apex is part of asynchronous, you have to count on the limits, which is asynchronous apex method limits, which they have given into this developer site. You can go through them, right? So there are limitation of how much jobs you can process. However, there is 50 queues, like say system of enqueue jobs in the one single transaction. So if you written one single entire apex code, you can only have 50 enqueue jobs there, right? When chaining jobs, you can add only one job, which we already discussed. One can be 1.1 one job to in that execute method you can call 3 different instances. No, one execute can only have one instance. Then there is a so the for the extension of that point only, like you can have there's no limit to enforce the chain job. So if you have a enterprise edition or higher than that production 1 to 1.1 2 3 4 5, you can, there's no depth like to chaining of the records. However, like 50 enqueue jobs, but in the actually developer edition or lower editions, you only can enqueue 5 child jobs. So that's what the queueable apex queueable class, you can say, is all about. Okay, so here is the challenge, and we'll start the challenge. Let's see what it is. It says that you have to create a queueable apex and insert contacts for accounts. Creating an apex class, insert same account for each context. Okay, so here, which I understand, is that you have to create a queueable class and insert a contact for each account, but there's a catch. Create a constructor accept the first argument contact as object, and second argument is state abbreviations. Okay, then execute method will query 200 accounts with this abbreviation, I guess. Yeah, so example abbreviation we got as state as CA or something. Then you have to query 200 account with billing state as CA, and then for each account we have to insert the contact record for each of them. Okay, so that's what the challenge, and this particular queueable method class will get two parameters, which is one the contact object, a blank contact object, and one is the abbreviation state. So you have to query that all the accounts with all, not all, about 200 accounts with that state abbreviation, and then insert 200 contact records for that, right? Going forward, they said that they have to create Apex test class as well and insert 50 accounts and 50 account, okay, 50 for billing state NY and billing state CA, and then create instance in this way, in which we have to check, like if the contact was inserted with 50 account with this one, and they've checked asked to check the line. Okay, all right, so that's pretty much the challenge is about. So let's start with the queueable class. We'll launch this one. Yeah, by the time it gets load, we should copy the syntax. I fairly do this practice because I don't want to have a typo anywhere in my code. So copying the system, simply this syntax, and yeah. So the first thing is we have to actually copy the name of this, which is add primary contact. We have opened our org playground and then open the developer console. This was the previous challenge for batch class. So this closes off, file, new text class is similar. Okay, I'll take this copy. Alright, we'll replace this, not this, but the code we copied, right? So replacing the first line with this one, this, yeah. So the first thing first is, because we have a constructor, we have to change the name. For that we have to add our name. Let's just verify if we have a proper name or not. Alright, this is good, this one. So here the challenge is we will receive only one contact instance, which is I'll just say local con, and here we'll be receiving a string type of abbreviation, state, local state. Alright, this particular method will be passed, and same drill, contact local con and string local state. Alright, then we have to assign this local parameter with the local instance variable with the parameter which is passed, which we're gonna do right now. See, okay, so this particular variable is pointing to this, and this one is here, and local state. So far we are good. Now what they ask us to do is query the account record with 200 account record, which has the billing state as this. So let's just query those. We can remove this. Alright, instance, no error. Okay, so list of accounts in which, okay, select ID from account where billing, just copy the field name to avoid confusion, billing equals to the one which is this local state. Okay, and we have to limit them. We only want 200 records, so limit automatically. Then what else? Then we have to loop through this to insert the contact for each of the account that we have queried. So naturally we'll loop through this list for account ACC into the list which we have just queried. Alright, then going to each instance we want to create a contact. So contact, see, one important line they have added in the challenge, which is to use the asobject.clone method. So clone method in Apex is basically, say for example, if you have already a local instance or any instance, you wanted to just clone them instead of creating a new set of memory. So if you talk about memory terms, you just cloning or copying that same instance in your new instance. So there are many parameters, which is like, say, copy, I'm not remembering the time. So if you have to full copy, say, copy the entire instance with the field and all thing, then you have to specify the parameters in that clone method. If you didn't specify anything, your ID is being created freshly new. So this particular ID will be deprecated, and when you clone that, the new ID will get created. Okay, so there is you can just Google it and search what the clone method means. It's a separate topic, but to simplify this, we are just using this particular variable passed through the parameter, and we'll be using those that particular instance directly instead of creating new and something. Directly we will use localconf dot clone. Okay, so new ID will be created. We are not creating a new set of memory. Okay, I'll be defining both of them. It is like deprecating the old memory and creating a new box. Okay, all right. Now this will have account ID as account ID same as acc.id, right? And we need a list to insert this particular contact as well. So we will create a blank list of contact. Okay, con to insert is equal to new list of contact. All right. Now we'll be adding this individual instance to this list to bulkify the code. Naturally, okay, add element is C. Done. So now what we do, have to come to this entire loop will run through this 200 set of record. Each instance, each time when we enter the loop, we have one contact instance. That contact will have the quantity of this particular individual record. So each parent will have one contact associated to it. We are bulkifying by adding that into our list, and then we are doing a DML operation. Okay, insert con to insert. Alright, so this will insert this entire list of those 200 contacts. I guess we are pretty much done here on the Apex this Queueable class. So naturally Queueable class has one method, execute method. We're going to save this class. We'll jump to the Apex class now, without which the challenge will not be done. Control file, new Apex class, control P. Okay, same old drill. Mandatory things at the rate is test. Okay, then test setup method, test setup. I'm not sure if they've given the same instance in this unit. So the class is given. Okay, test setup. Okay, we'll do this and to avoid syntax errors, control V. Now if you understand the challenges, like we are doing 200 we are inserting 200 contact for the 200 account we have queried. So how to test them? They say that they have given in the challenge that you have to insert 50 record in the insert 50 account record for billing state this one, billing state this one. So naturally we have to run through a loop and insert and into a bulk. We'll create only one blank account. Okay, now here in the test they have inserted into a loop. So naturally we're going to use this. We don't need this record. For our challenge we have to insert 50 account of billing state NA CA and 50 of NY, right? So two separate loop will run, each of 50, 0 to 50. Okay, in one instance it will be account, which will obviously the name, and the billing state will be NY. I'll just add it to one line so that it doesn't confuse you guys. Okay, equal to, this is NY. Alright, so one loop will goes through this, and in that particular, so this is one common box, big box. In what in first in that box, in 50 account single instance will be inserted as billing state NY. Alright, And test account if I started with this one, it will be test account 1 duplicacy will be there. We'll do another lookup in which I will say uh, 1 to 100 and I is like, we'll say 51 because see, if test account 1, we can change the name as well because it will, okay fine, same thing, name doesn't matter. Why test account, okay, just differentiate by name ny, and this will be CA. Cool. CA, same. So this box has 50 NY billing state, and this account will have, this set of 50 record will have billing this. So we have inserted the record. Now the thing is, create an instance item in queue the job and assert that a contact record was inserted for each of those 50 with the billing state of CA. Okay, the unit must cover all lines. So copying this to um, our like our challenge, like comparing to our challenges, like now our challenge was to that in that queueable method instance we passed one billing state and one instance, right? So what we will do, we going to insert the contact record, one contact record, okay, without anything. So this will be a blank record, and we'll pass that instance whenever we declare the instance of this queueable into in between the test.start and test.stop, and we'll pass ny because they wanted to check for, sorry, not ny, CA. Then we'll check if those 50 contact records matches the one which has the billing state QA. All right. So this is the one. We can insert the contact into the in the test method itself. Okay, and we'll see how it will work. Okay, so we're not inserting the contact record here because we have to then query there. It will be very simple if you just do the passing the instance directly there and there. So similar drill, we'll just copy one more line, which is this one. We contact C is equal to new contact last name SFDC. Star. We all are rock stars. Okay, now test dot start test and test dot stop test. This will in between these lines we will call what was the method, nq system dot nq jobs. Okay, should we create an instance of that? Yeah, definitely. How would we pass the parameter then? So instance of add primary contact, which is this, add primary contact is equal to apc is equal to new contact, which is a constructor. In the constructor we have declared one contact instance, which is this one, C. We entirely passed one blank contact record and one parameter, which is a string parameter, right? So one contact and one string, which is in the challenge they wanted us to take CA. Okay, billing state CA. All right. Okay, so this particular line, yeah, we have to pass the instance as well. So when nq job will call, this particular method will run, and the execute method will to query the this particular contacts, and for the one which has CA, like billing state CA, it will insert the contact for this set of 50 records. Okay, so naturally we have to test that only, and it's pretty much we are done. Okay, we should run this test method first to check if we have covered all the lines or not. So test method and test. Yeah, and it is successful. That and let's check if our class is covered. Yeah, every line is got covered. these are not executable lines, so it's a declaration. Whichever the executable lines are there, those are covered. Okay. One more thing we could try is that they have asked us to check instance and assert that contact recall was inserted with each person. So we have to check the number of contact which was associated with the billing state CA. So how will we do this? So we'll go inside this assert dot r equal expected is 200 records should get inserted for contact. So select count of, I'm not sure if I've seen somewhere like they have used count in particular to this, but it doesn't work in the Apex class. It will throw an error. Somehow it doesn't work, but I will try for this. Okay, count method they have used count because aggregate functions works on ID, but we are not generally generating an ID here. But we'll try count from contact where ID in where ID in because we have to check the contact, not ID, because obviously contact ID will not be present in this one. You have to check number of contacts where ID, where account ID, sorry, my bad, account ID in select ID from account, because obviously contact will have parent. The challenge was like each account has to be need to have a contact instance whose billing state is the one which you pass. So naturally, if you want to check CA, like who's billing, so 50 CA billing state account will have 50 contacts. So we have to check the IDs of these. So all these contact IDs should be not 50, 200. It will be 50. Sorry. So 50 contacts will have account ID same, which account ID has where billing state is equal to CA, because we have inserted for that only. I think it's not bracket, it's round bracket, and it will be a multiple query because one query is here. So here you need to have a square bracket. The query. Now it will not give you any error. This is fine. Let's save this. So 50 contacts should be written back because those 50 contacts will have same parent whose billing state is CA. That's a simple match, right? We should run this. It is saved now. Log test. Oh, it passed. So let's see if even if after running and doing so much things, your method is fully covered for class. So we are almost done. Let's check the challenge. Your issue processing verification, please refresh and page and try again. Okay, sorry, this happens sometimes. Am I logged in or not? Okay, I have to log in again. Logged in, right? Let's just check the challenge. Okay. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Boom. Nothing. Let's just wait. Okay, bingo. So that was all for Queueable Apex. In the next unit, we'll talk about schedule jobs using Apex Scheduler. This is also an interesting topic. So we'll see you in the next video. Thank you so much for staying this long. If you really like this content and the way I explain, please do like and subscribe. Thank you so much. Bye.